Besides asking you to silence your phones, I would like to announce that this meeting is being streamed live to the Carroll Media Center's YouTube channel, as well as the town's Facebook page. And I will call the meeting to order. Good evening and welcome to the Town of Sykesville Mayor and Town Council meeting. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 2023. We will call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. We begin our meeting as we begin all of our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll follow that with a moment of silence. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In that moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you, everybody. It's nice to see such a full house. Amongst any of you, are there public comments intended?
No one has signed up.
Okay, last call. All right, so I'll skip that part of the agenda. Well, I guess I haven't skipped it, I just addressed it. There are none. Here we are. The next item on our agenda is actually the consent agenda, which is inclusive of the minutes from the September 25th, 2023 Mayor and Town Council meeting, as well as the Municipal Government Works Month proclamation. Presuming that everyone here at the table has reviewed both of those items, and unless there's corrections or concerns. All right. Then,
I did have an amendment that I sent in. It will be incorporated, I was told.
Okay, thank you. Is it a typo or is it necessary to?
It's just a typo. It
Fantastic.
doesn't change anything.
Thank you so much. So then with that in mind, is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
And I guess those motions are to approve the consent agenda.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
To approve the consent agenda.
Thank you so much.
Just trying to be.
So
He's trying to beat Al. He always gets it.
I did see that. I saw it in both of your eyes. So with the motion being to approve the consent agenda, made first by Councilman Schofield and seconded by Councilman Dyer, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the consent agenda is passed. And that Municipal Government Works Month proclamation is the same one that I read, or that is read every proclamation, every Municipal Works Month of the year. But I'll just throw it out here. Whereas the town of Sykesville was incorporated in 1904, and whereas Maryland is home to 156 other municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsive level of government, allowing citizens to have direct access to elected officials, and whereas in an effort to educate citizens about municipal government and the importance of their participation, the town of Sykesville is proud to promote municipal government awareness. And whereas municipalities have enhanced the quality of life for their respective residents by providing useful and valuable services, maintaining natural and historic sites and structures, and helping to make Maryland a great place to live, work, play, and explore. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Sykesville, do hereby join the Maryland Municipal League in proclaiming November 2023 to be Municipal Government Works Month in Sykesville. Thank you. Okay, first item of new business is to consider, discuss, and act upon resolution number 2023-06, proclaiming October 20th, 2023 as Community Media Day. With plans to read this resolution aloud and to call someone forward here in just a moment, I'll just ask before I read it if there are any concerns or comments about the actual resolution before us. Okay.
Motion to approve resolution number 2023-06.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
All right, great. So that motion to adopt resolution number 2023, proclaiming October 20th, 2023 as Community Media Day has been made by Councilman Grassley and seconded by Council Member Guroff. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion on the table?
Actually, I do have a comment, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just wanted to be sure that everyone is aware that I was going to do it, but I would rather you do it about your award, because I missed it last time and I felt bad. And then he walks in and I thought, we've got to make a big deal about him winning a national award.
Well, let's do it this way. How about we call Mr. Richard Turner, Executive Director of the Carroll Media Center, to the front. I'm going to come around so that I can make a big deal out of this because it is.
Better.
And I'd like Richard to actually tell us about his, and thank you. And
I also our board chair.
Excellent. So tell us at the council and everyone here with us today about your.
I should know a microphone would hear us, but.
Yes, it will. It will.
Well, a national award this past year was in recognition of excellence programming across the country. It was granted by the Alliance for Community, Foundation for the Alliance for Community Media, which has this hometown national awards contest every year. This is particularly a new category that was in the area of virtual programming, and it was in recognition of the award ceremony that was held virtually at the Community Media Center for the County Chamber of Commerce and for the County Public Schools for outstanding teachers. So it recognized not only our production expertise, but the fact that as a national award, we got recognized for also recognizing our teachers.
And this is the first time for the award to be bestowed upon?
Actually, this particular award was first in its category. That's the first time.
Okay.
So it was very competitive.
We love first here in Sykesville, so that's great. Can you introduce your
Actually,
award?
Teresa Bethune is our board chair.
Thank you. Nice to have you, Teresa.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely, and for the two of you and for your entire organization, I'm going to read this resolution. That is resolution number 2023-06. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of Sykesville proclaiming October 20th, 2023 as Community Media Day. Whereas the sharing of ideas and information helps to build common understanding and common values within a community and access to information in today's media environment, it is critical for the healthy function of our community. And whereas community media organizations provide information to the community that is not always covered by mainstream commercial media. And whereas community media is an important resource for participating in local democratic policy and processes and connects community organizations, schools, and local governments to their constituents. And whereas communities benefit from increased general awareness of, viewing audiences for, and creators of media, content created by and for the community. Now therefore, be it resolved that October 20, 2023 is hereby proclaimed as Community Media Day within the town of Sykesville, and that all people are hereby called upon to promote the importance of community media, local information, and trainings available at the Community Media Center of Carroll County, and programming available on cable channels 19, 23, and HD 1086, and online at carrollmediacenter.org. Be it further resolved that the Community Media Center of Carroll County plays a vital role in the building of our community by encouraging conversations about our common interests, increasing discourse around policy issues, fostering understanding of local cultures, celebrating our community, and sharing information to improve our lives. This resolution is adopted by the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Sykesville this 23rd day of October 2023. And do we have a copy of that? Right.
Bring around this.
Thank you. And I'm just going to sign this, and we're going to get the council to sign it.
Did we vote on it?
We haven't yet.
Yes, before I read it.
No, we didn't.
We did have a bill?
No.
Because we, yes.
I just tried to, I'm sorry.
Okay, so,
Wanted to brag him up and I caused
from the
him.
front of the day is for the first time ever, the mayor's gonna call for a vote on the motion on the table. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? How dare you if you did. Very good, thank you. The motion passes unanimously, the resolution is adopted, and we just need a couple more signatures here.
Good call.
Thank you.
Good call.
Thank you.
Gotta vote.
That would have been horrible.
Yeah, well.
Good catch. Very good catch.
First,
Procedural.
yes.
We would have.
Processes.
That's what I'm here for.
Is
That's
this your
Joe.
one?
I think it's Joe's.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ms. Bethune and Mr. Turner.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you guys do.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, let's get a photo. Sorry. Thank you. All right, I think we're done with that particular agenda item. Thank you, sir. All right.
Good catch.
Yes,
Very
thank
good
you.
catch.
I want to make it legal, or procedurally correct.
Thank you.
Perfection is what that was. Okay, here we go. Our next item is the Sykesville Police Department's moment to shine, and particularly our soon-to-be promoted Annalise Young. And actually, I don't know, did you change her name?
I'm in the process. So
Okay.
it'll be-
Well, there's a lot of big things happening in Annalise's life lately, professionally and personally. So first, I want to congratulate her on the personal part of her life, the personal change in her life, and that is her recent marriage. I believe just a week and a day ago. Correct?
Wow.
So congratulations, Officer Young. And I'd like to call our Chief Spalding to the microphone so that he can do the honors here. We have a big event here this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, there's a lot of familiar faces here because I was at the wedding just about a week ago. There was an incident involving my glasses that some of you know about, but it's a long story. I do have them back.
It ends well.
It does end very well.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful ceremony, and I appreciate being invited. Jeff? All right. Nothing makes me more happy than to be able to recognize two of our employees tonight, both for their performance, their tenure, their commitment to this department. And it's a great thing to be able to recognize them. And I appreciate your support for allowing me to do that because we have a great staff. All of our officers are great, but these two in particular have proven to be worthy of being promoted. Now remember, I said one other time that it's just not about performance. It's not about tenure. They've demonstrated the ability to lead, to guide others, and hence the reason for more responsibility. So a promotion is not just about performance. It's about their demonstrated ability to lead, and these two certainly have proven that already. I'll discuss a few of the things here, but let me start with Corporal Annalise Young. Would you come forward?
Excellent.
Okay. Although not a lot of tenure here, she has certainly proven very capable of leading. She's only been with us about a year and a half now. She graduated from the Police Academy in April of 2022, as you all know. It was a very happy a moment for us. And since that point in time, she's again demonstrated the ability to take the initiative to get things done, to better the working conditions at the Sykesville Police Department. She's never hesitated to offer suggestions for better ways of doing things, which I appreciate, which all the staff appreciates. But she's also led in terms of performance. As you know, she was the Officer of the Year last year. She certainly led in just about in most categories of performance. And she's also been quite remarkable in the area of community policing, as you know. Just last year for Halloween, she took it upon herself to make 60, I believe, trick-or-treat bags, which she proceeded to hand out. Are you doing that again this year?
They're in the office right now.
I should have known. It's just remarkable that she takes the time and goes to the effort of reaching out to our youth in our community, and she's definitely been a leader in that area. As you know, the mayor talked about her accomplishment of many firsts. She was our first auxiliary officer that we put through an entry-level police academy. She was also the first female police officer we put through an entry-level academy. I said all this at your wedding, you remember. She was the first female officer of the year. And now she's going to become the first female supervisor at the Sykesville Police Department. So please welcome me in congratulating Corporal Annalise Barrett. Here for you, just commemorating your promotion, as well as you guys know, in police and military, rank is usually designated by chevrons, and so she will receive her corporal chevrons. that unfortunately you're going to have to put on your jacket. She hasn't even put her PFC stripes on her jacket. So that shows you how fast she's rising through the ranks, and well deserved. So here are her chevrons, and as well as her new badges, both a gold badge to wear on her dress blouse and her uniform, as well as a little plastic one we use just on the uniform so we don't damage the metal one. So there you go. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. Fantastic. Thank you.
And most of these folks here are her family. If anybody wishes to introduce himself or say hi, and that's her father and her new in-laws, and of course her husband, Braden. Braden, say hi. Come on. Braden's sister, and I don't remember it. There was a couple of drinks involved in that, obviously. I wouldn't have lost my glasses. It's a long story. And the rain didn't help him. Michael, it's your turn. Step forward, please. And you have your kids with you here?
No, I do. My son Patrick and my son Owen.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome. You all know Michael very well, having been here. Actually, I think it's ironic that tomorrow is your 7-year anniversary.
It is, yes.
All right.
So, absolutely. And you all know that he was our MMLPEA Top Cop of the Year for 2022. It was a wonderful occasion and great recognition both for you and for our town. So
Another first.
it was another first,
Yeah.
yes it was.
Yeah.
But Michael does so much else. I mean, he really, I have to say, if there was ever any doubt about Michael's ability to supervise or lead, he proved himself with our recently departed officer. Michael spent an incredible amount of time, I think over 20 performance improvement meetings that you had face to face. 23 to be exact. And those weren't short meetings, knowing you, Michael.
Thorough.
Yeah. The amount of work he put into trying to improve this young officer was remarkable. The amount of time and effort, the documentation, the one-on-one meetings. He did an absolutely amazing job. And unfortunately, the officer decided to leave for reasons that don't really matter at this point. But you did an amazing job with him, and it wasn't because of you that he left. I can tell you that for a fact. In fact, he looked up to you. We know that as a fact. But you've done a lot for us, Michael, in the area of performance. As you all know, he's been the Community Policing Officer of the Year for several years, as recently as 2022, and several years prior to that as well. And the community policing you do is incredible. Every year, he, as you know, manages our gift giving during the holidays, helps us find a family, or the past couple of years it's been Toys for Tots. But an amazing amount of work that you do, Michael, and you're very deserving of this promotion to sergeant. So with that, I will congratulate you. And unfortunately, I don't have a badge for Michael yet. It's on order, and it takes a little bit of time, but I promise you'll have it the minute I have it. But here's your certificate as well. Keep up the good work, Michael. We're glad to have you. We're fortunate to have you. And he's been, as you know, supervising that squad by himself since becoming a corporal. So now we're going to make it official and make him a sergeant so he can supervise that squad the way it should be. So keep up the good work.
Good, thanks.
Congratulations, Sergeant. Thank you. All right. Well, I don't know about everybody else at this
So
table,
did
but
you
I'm
wanna
feeling
take a-
pretty good about all that.
Did you want to take a picture with all of them in the front, or?
You always do that, and I always forget. And I
Well, I'm just
appreciate
saying,
it.
like we
Yeah.
normally do.
Can we do
so,
that? Yeah. Thank you.
Then you can let everybody leave if they'd like.
Yeah, and then you guys can set yourselves free. No. Thank you. I'm glad you-
Along with the mayor,
Yeah.
yourself.
Check it off on.
You didn't ask me for back there.
No, I did not. Who am I looking at?
Everybody.
Everybody all ordered.
Two.
Coming at you. Thank you. Congratulations.
The
Keep
chief
up
in
the good
there,
work,
put the
Corporal.
chief in there too.
Yeah.
The chief is good.
Thank you.
Great.
Did Dad get it?
Still
Good.
fresh.
All right, good deal. Excellent. Thank you, guys. All right. My top cop.
One of your top cops.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
First of the top cops.
For sure. All right.
All right, Chief.
Come on in, Chief.
We'll get more.
Okay.
Then
did you get yours?
everyone.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
Oh, yep.
Nice to say it, Sergeant.
Everything.
All of us.
There we go.
Come on in.
Choreography.
Yes, this is great. This is great.
This is what we do.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, you got it. Okay.
Thank all the families for coming, the auxiliary as well, and other sworn officers. Appreciate you being here to support us.
And them.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
They don't need to be here.
Discussion.
You know what I'm saying? Just,
Yes.
I don't think they want to stay.
The rest of the agenda items.
Thank you.
We got the air burning incident later.
Oh, God. That was fun.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. I always feel better with all of your uniforms here in the room, even that one in the back corner there. Right, Lieutenant?
What a uniform it is, Your Honor.
Yes, yes. So here we are with our next item on the agenda, which is an item of new business, which is to consider, discuss, and act on replacement of the town data server. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. So the item summary is as follows. We are replacing the town's existing townhouse server with a cloud-based solution. That is the plan anyway, should we vote to do so. The background, I'm going to turn over to Joe regarding this item, and then I might jump in at some point, but thank you, Joe.
Well, I was just going to say, so really the precipitative of this was our current operating system on our existing on-site server is a 2012 version. Obviously, Microsoft is not going to be supporting that any longer after October, so we wanted to take this opportunity to, make some necessary improvements. We obviously could go with an on-site server again. However, the cloud-based solution gives us a little more freedom and flexibility, at least from a staff perspective. Also, we're using this to upgrade our security protocols and some of our email spam filtering, things like that. So again, it was just a good opportunity for us. Plus, the cloud-based system will increase our costs on a regular operating budget standpoint. It will drastically reduce our capital purchase here on the front end. So again, once it gets up and running, any of our staff members, at least that work here at the townhouse, will be able to work fully remotely if necessary. They'll have access to all of their data files and everything that's currently on our existing server, and just be able to make us a little more efficient, especially if there's ever an event or anything that might happen at the townhouse. We could still keep government functioning.
Nice, important. Yeah, you had mentioned a significant amount. It looks like it's a $10,000, roughly $10,000 subscription fee continuously, but on this particular calendar year, we'll be better off doing it that way than purchasing the very expensive server that would have had to replace the 2012 version. So does anyone have questions for Joe beyond that?
I did have one question. You were going to look it up. What did you find out?
This was the email?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually per account.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's more than enough storage.
I was going to say, for the my one concern just instantly vanished.
Well, that's great, because I actually was going to turn to you to ask you if you had any concerns, so.
Same thing.
So thank
I
you,
was concerned
Councilman.
about one thing, but that solves.
Okay.
What were you concerned about?
He had, coming from NSA where we had to store everything as a legal record, the amount of storage, 100 gigabytes, seemed awful small spreading it around, but if you're talking that's per person,
We're great.
things are great.
Cool.
So Joe, if there's a problem with the server, would you contact Celtech? Is that?
Yes.
So they're maintaining the server, but it's up in the cloud somewhere.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
there are go-to IT people. Matter of fact, that's basically how we do it now, even though it's on site. It's just if there is an issue, they have to actually physically come out here to fix it.
Got it.
Now they'll be able to do everything remotely.
All right.
And because of the adjustment, we'll have to do some adjustments to the fiscal year 24 budget.
Just because of the costs, once it's implemented and once we do start purchasing all of the necessary licenses for all the different pieces that are components that are associated with this, that'll be part of our budget revision number 1 here in a few months.
Good, makes sense. Any other questions for staff on this item?
Being that this is in the cloud, currently, if there was something to happen here at the townhouse, all the data would be lost.
Yeah, I mean, so Celtech does provide data backup with our existing server, so it's just a matter of how much we would have actually lost. Because I can't remember if they do it daily or weekly or whatever it may be. This will be backed up daily in the cloud and available to us no matter where we try to log in from.
And I like the anti-phishing. I mean, that is something that I have been bombarded with, it seems, more in the last 2 or 3 weeks, with some really very enticing, but only because I know better. So they're getting a little smarter and using AI. Like, I could tell this last one I got was written by AI, or I assumed it was. Anyway, I didn't open it. But this will give us a little more of that filtering out of that stuff, right?
Correct, that's the idea.
Okay, cool.
And actually getting into 2023's technology
Indeed.
versus 2012.
I've heard this cloud thing is relatively new.
I think it's great we take this leap of faith. Yeah.
Microsoft 2012 is kind of like saying, I'm going to get rid of the Model T and buy a new car.
Tesla.
Pretty soon it'll be worth something just because it is an antique. So with no other questions for staff, is there a motion for this item?
I move to approve the cloud migration proposal by Celtech dated June 8, 2023 as presented.
Thank you, Councilman
I'll second
Dyer.
that.
Thank you, Council President Carter. With any need for further discussion or debate? All right, then I'll call for a vote on this item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that motion is unanimously approved, and we would ask that staff move forward.
Will do.
Thank you. All right.
And you'll be able to have everything done by the end of the month, because that's when,
I don't know exactly how quickly they'll be able to implement it, but honestly, just because Microsoft's not supporting it doesn't mean it turns itself off.
okay.
We just won't get updates anymore.
We just won't get
Becomes more dangerous with each passing month. That's why we don't want to wait too long.
Copy. All right. And the next item on our agenda is to consider, discuss, and act on a capital purchase for a new dump truck bed. Quick summary on this item: additional capital purchase for fiscal year 24 to replace the dump truck bed on the town's 2008 Ford F-450. And the little bit of background is that this dump bed on the town's 2008 Ford F-450 has reached the end of its useful life and needs to be replaced if we actually are going to continue to use this vehicle, which is running and in good shape. So that's the approach we're taking. At present, the truck still runs very well, but the bed, having been repaired multiple times by staff and third party over the years, are just really no longer holding up, and so there's a lot of rust and no good metal left to weld to, as I understand it. So it's now time to replace the dump bed and some of the subframe hoist. What else would you like to tell us, sir?
Just to, I guess, remind everybody, so in current fiscal year budget, we do have $100,000 for public works. For actually, there was 2 identified capital purchases that we were going to make. One was a new to us used dump truck, overall dump truck, and then a new leaf vacuum. So again, we anticipated spending $100,000 for that. Luckily, our public works director was able to find purchases that were well under what we expected them to be. So again, we're not anticipating spending outside of what's being proposed tonight more than, I want to say, around $55,000. So being that we were so far under budget with what we had expected to purchase, we wanted to go ahead and try to squeeze one more capital project in this fiscal year without having to make a budget amendment. So
Which makes it time for the mayor's psych out.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So this is the second for DPW Derek Shreves.
All right.
Of the year, anyway, of the year. This time it's for Derek's ingenuity, fiscal awareness, and stick-to-itiveness as he sought out not one, but two solutions for failing equipment, for which we had budgeted $100,000 for the purchases of a replacement used dump truck, and a leaf vacuum and trailer. Something that we've all been waiting for so many years, and soon we'll be able to use that out and about town. Anyway, with the replacement of the dump bed and for our existing Ford 450, F450, which is going to come to right around $25,000. And then the leaf vacuum and the trailer was also secondhand and sought out and brought into our fold and needed repairs, and everybody knew it when we purchased it. And anyway, the total of all of that comes to about 52 instead of 100,000, as Joe said. So that's the psych out for Mr. Derek Shreves. Does anyone have any questions for staff?
Derek, I have one. The frame of that, it's all good, or does it need to be like any type of, not upgrade, but refurbishment?
No, the chassis only got 50,000 miles on it for 4,600 hours on it, so it's in good shape. It's a pre-emissions diesel, which less problems with trying with the newer pollution controls, but it's still in good shape.
Okay. Just want to make sure that once you take off the old dump bed,
Yeah.
that you don't have any surprises, but.
No, it's all been inspected, and then
Okay.
I asked the vendors that came out to look at it, what they thought of it, and they're not just trying to sell something, but yeah, they were in agreement. And then ultimately, if in 4 or 5 years we want to buy a new truck, we can just put the chassis under this new bed and just save us some money. Right now, a new truck similar would be approaching $110,000.
Wow.
What is the life of a dump truck, or a dump bed, I should say? Is that?
Well, this is a steel bed.
Oh, okay.
We're replacing it with a stainless steel bed.
Gotcha.
So, like the 2015 that we had doesn't show any signs of really anything. So
Gotcha.
Which is a stainless
It should
steel.
last at least another 15, 20 years.
It should last longer than the truck.
Longer than this truck for sure, and probably the life of a replacement chassis.
Wow.
Got it.
That's good to know. Good questions.
Is that like standard practice to just replace the dump bed on trucks like that, or?
Depends on how you use it.
Generally, with the age of the truck, you would have like many more miles on it. So this truck just
Brand
doesn't
new.
have any use on it.
Gotcha.
Like say 50,000 miles on it. Yeah. Some people put that in a year on a truck. So.
And the Public Works maintains them very well.
Yeah.
So it's not like salt is sitting on it for months at a time.
Yeah. And this will help with stainless steel versus the steel bed. So.
Excellent. Anyone else? Any questions?
I'd like a motion to approve the purchase and installation of a new dump bed for the town's 2008 Ford F450 as proposed in the Moxley's truck equipment quote as presented.
Second.
Awesome, thank you. So that motion is made by Councilmember Leo Keenan and seconded by Councilmember Schofield. Any need for further debate? All right, so with that, I will call for a vote. All in favor of the motion on the table, please signal with hand raised and say aye. Aye. That's everyone. No opposed. Okay, so again, another unanimous decision made here by the Sykesville Mayor and Town Council. Good work.
Great job, Derek. Thank you.
Yeah, really,
Very,
for sure.
very nicely done.
That brings us to our announcements and reports. We are cooking, aren't we? It's 7:34. The next meeting, the town council and the mayor and I and the council meet at our next meeting on Monday, November 13th, 2023 at 7 p.m. right here. Additionally, if you have any interest in our volunteer opportunities, which include the Historic District Commission, Parks and Recreation Commission, and the Police Auxiliary, please email the town at town@sykesville.net for more info. That brings us to staff updates. I will turn to our town manager, Joe, and ask him to provide us first with an update on the road work.
Just a quick update on the road work. So I do know Carroll County Utilities, they are finished the lining repair at the south end of Main Street. That does not mean they are finished at the south end of Main Street. They are finished with the lining repair at the south end of Main Street. So they will be coming back to do some of the lateral lines, but they're thinking they're probably not going to do that until after, and this is what everybody's waiting for, the state comes in and at least puts a new base layer of asphalt down on Main Street. So that work is scheduled to start on Thursday.
Okay.
So state highways will be on here repaving Main Street starting Thursday.
So they're gonna cut into the base layer?
They're gonna grind the heck out of all of it.
They're gonna mill it all the way down and then put a new base layer down.
No, when they go in and do the final repair, they're gonna cut back into the?
No. So yeah, the lining that has to happen, they're not actually gonna mess with the asphalt at all. They're just gonna be in the way.
Okay, got it.
I'm sorry, Jeremiah, I didn't realize that was what you were asking.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had to dig a hole again.
They do not. The people that do have to dig a hole, which is the stormwater repairs that have to happen on Main Street at some point too. There's a couple of inlets that need to be repaired at various locations along Main Street. That work is scheduled to begin once they're done with that base layer of asphalt. However, what we have requested from State Highways is to actually delay that work until after the holidays. That way, and again, the reason being that some of the work that the contractor is going to be doing for the inlets is very close to some of the BG&E poles. BG&E poles will need to be braced, and that bracing will actually block some of the sidewalks. So we actually want to keep Main Street as open as humanly possible during the holidays.
So I know we requested that of SHA. Did they
have
get
not heard
back
back
to
yet.
us?
So it's like,
Okay.
well, they've acknowledged the request and they are working on
Okay.
it. So it's like we're just waiting to get confirmation from them.
Thank you.
And the base layer of asphalt that they put down, will that create a little lip for some of the like manhole covers or anything else?
Yeah, typically it's a 2-inch lip.
Yeah.
Now again, around the manholes, there's usually like what we call like a little donut base lip that they'll put over it just to make sure it's not just an edge there. But that's the idea, is that you'll basically see that. Now the road, the surface will actually be much smoother than what you see out there right now. But like you said, along wherever there's a manhole or an inlet or something like that, there will be a little bit of a bump there.
Never worked on an asphalt crew before?
I've never worked on an asphalt crew before.
Gotcha.
I've just seen the after effects of it and tried to dodge all the manholes when I drive down a road.
Joe, how long is the milling going to be?
They expect that work to take, it's the 2 days this week, so Thursday and Friday, and then 2 weeks after. So they'll be finished up the first or second week of November.
But everything will be okay to be walkable over the weekend
Absolutely.
for shopping and so forth.
Yes. Well, and again, there's a few big events here in the next few weeks in Main Street as well. So. As far as Springfield Avenue goes, all the water and sewer work has been completed. State Highways was scheduled to mobilize today. As a matter of fact, I guess you could still say they mobilized today. There were surveyors out there getting ready to start that stormwater work. So you'll start to see even more activity along Springfield Avenue as well. And again, that's all stormwater replacement. The only other few things I have is the new, I call it mini linear trail there from Jennifer Way to Oklahoma Avenue is complete. It's nice. I walked it today. Looks very good. And then just to remind everybody that trick or treat is October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. with your porch light on. So make that very clear to everybody. That's all I have.
Fun stuff. Thank you. That brings us to the treasurer's report. Mr. Craig. Thank you.
Very autumnal today.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. At this time, I'd like to present the September Treasurer's Report. Hopefully everyone had a chance to peruse it and digest it and just love it to death. Kind of a straightforward month, not too much going on, which sometimes is a good thing. At this point, I'm sure you know, revenue exceeds expenditure for $96,000 compared to last month, which was $84,000. So a little uptick, which was good. She got a report. it's not reflected in this period yet, but we also received about a week ago, we received $588,000 in more real estate taxes, which is that top line there. So you'll see that next month. So we'll have even more of an uptick, at least for the time being, with revenue. But then it gets a little crowded in December. We kind of start expenses kick up, so we won't talk about that yet. Really, in terms of expenses, I mean, there's really nothing other we kind of talked about last meeting in regards to a lot of the variances that were starting to decline a little bit. I think it's all kind of settled. I think the only area maybe you've mentioned was the computer maintenance and the computer software area. Mainly that's just annual expenses that Celtech bills us for the annual contract, basically, on the maintenance of all our computers and such. So came in a little higher because they also had to deal with some of the structure and firewall. I think a new firewall had to be put in, and related to the phones. I think that we had gotten new phones and stuff. But other than that, of course, now we're going to get another 10 possibly off the new server. So, but that'll be forthcoming. Other than that, update on the audit. Obviously, I don't have my lead auditor, Eva Webb, in the audience, so we will not have a presentation tonight on the audit, but still hoping at least to get it physically done by the end of this month, which not too much time, but
December Christmas present for us.
Days. That would be really good. Be a good present for me, because
Yeah,
therefore I wouldn't have to extend the audit. I mean, after October, you have to file for an extension. I'd rather not do that if I could get away with it. So I'm going to be working, so don't bother me too much this week if you can.
No calls.
Just could leave me alone.
Nothing is as important.
Which I was surprised Monday morning, I didn't see any emails in regards to this September treasure report, which I usually stress out Sunday night, not knowing what's going to be in my
We
email
got the memo
Monday morning.
doing the audit, so
that's a good sign too.
yeah.
Other than that, I don't really have much to discuss. If anybody has any questions.
Nope, not from me.
Look good, man.
It's a shame I couldn't have been at the wedding. I don't, I just don't know. She knew I was a DJ. I could have been there. I could have saved some money, but it's
true.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Appreciate your hard work. That brings us to our public safety report, and I'd like to call Chief to the microphone. And as he makes his way up, I want to, I doubt he was going to bring this up, but he can speak about it after I mention it, and that is that Chief participated on a panel at the Maryland Municipal League Fall Conference, where he was the only police officer to participate, and it was regarding the community response to the opioid epidemic. And Chief was able to share with all of the membership. There were hundreds and hundreds of people at MML, and Chief was a cool cat, never got nervous, and was able to tell everyone all the things that Sykesville. I'm serious.
You're sitting way back.
I was, but I had my opera glasses on,
Oh,
and
wow,
you looked
wow.
very
That was
calm
a
and
large
cool.
crowd.
It was a very big crowd. I would have been intimidated for sure, but you didn't appear intimidated, and was able to tell everyone what it is that Sykesville is doing in the way of attacking and responding to this opioid epidemic that is raging across the country, and as much in Carroll County as any other. So, and that was a proud moment for the mayor again. So thank you for participating, and thank you for what you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Speaking of heroin and opioids, you'll see on this report
Yep.
there was actually fentanyl was taken off a person right here in beautiful downtown Sykesville. So it's everywhere. It's killing a lot of people, an awful lot of people. Projected to be 100,000 deaths this year.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff.
And that's an improvement in the way of there's less overdosing happening. I don't remember the numbers, but there's a decline because of the use of, because of the police officers being armed with the right tools, with Narcan.
The overdoses are static, but the deaths are somewhat down.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
We'll talk about the public safety report. It's a big one. Covers just about a month, September 18th through October 15th. A total of 715 events during this time. Just a few highlights. A lot of patrol checks, 328. Some good community policing reports. You guys saw those. We had 20 of those. Traffic enforcement initiatives, 31. So foot patrols, 34. So while the weather's still halfway decent, officers are still getting out of their cars and doing foot patrols, and that's what we expect. So busy time period for us, and there was 18 total incident reports during that same period. So more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
I do have one. Report number 236. Can you explain the difference between third and fourth degree burglary? Because apparently both were listed there.
Okay, so they did list fourth degree. One is a storehouse, Sean, is that right? Fourth is storehouse?
So fourth degree burglary is on the property with the intent to steal. It's a catch-all.
Got it.
Third degree is a little more above and beyond that. Storehouse, garage, outbuilding.
Right, and differentiates between, I guess, first degree involves intent to commit a felony or a residential dwelling.
Crime violence, steal firearm, rape, robbery.
So,
Okay.
in this particular case, Mayor, it was a Walmart delivery driver who apparently delivered to this person's house on a regular basis. The pattern was that he would leave the groceries just inside her door. On this one occasion,
Inside the house?
Inside the house. That was, the pattern that the victim had allowed. On this one occasion, she had fallen asleep and she awoke to find him standing in her living room. There was an allegation of an assault that occurred during that same interaction, and that's why you see the burglary charge as well as the assault charge.
Thank you.
To be continued, though, we're still working on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Officer Hoppe, I believe, did an outstanding job on that investigation with assistance from Sergeant Slareth and Lieutenant Kilgore.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else for the chief?
Yeah, I've got two questions. With the fentanyl, I thought I saw that, is the health department here in Carroll doing some free kind of grab and go boxes? Are we doing any of those?
We are. I brought it up at the MML Fall Conference. We're actually going to do a couple things. As you know, all our sworn officers and our auxiliary officers are now trained in carry Narcan. Sergeant Slareth is in the process of organizing what they call a naloxone cabinet that will be delivered to our police station, which will offer people free naloxone if they want to come into the station and get it. And then we're also in the process of scheduling a community event with, we're going to, of course, invite downtown businesses as well as residents so that they can come out, learn about it, hear about it, and actually receive some of the samples themselves.
Okay.
So we're trying to get the word out more. And these couple of additional steps we're doing will certainly help.
So I'm not super familiar with that process. How does it come across to come in and get that sort of information without sort of trying to not incriminate yourself in the process? Like there seems
Well,
to
the
be...
Good Samaritan law covers all of those sort of things. So as long as they want to come in and help themselves, we can't follow them or ask them any questions or anything like that.
Okay. So it's a safe zone for this
is.
particular activity?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
For the Narcan, are you asking?
I'm
I
not
guess you mean if
100%
somebody were to
certain.
come in, would we suspect that they were a user? Obviously, they could
Right.
be picking up for a family member or someone else.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully not. I learned
I
how
was-
to use Narcan at MML because I'm traveling through Carroll Community College. I go to the libraries a lot, and there were a lot of signs saying, if your friend is overdosing, and I thought maybe I could be there to reach into my backpack and run over, and everybody's standing around and say, well, I have an idea to fix this.
everybody should have it.
Yeah, so Narcan is just an inhalant that anyone can carry, and so having it available, unfortunately, it's not just someone using illicit drugs. You could order a painkiller and it could be laced and you wouldn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important that I think everybody's aware this is not a substance use disorder issue. This is an everybody issue. That could happen to any one of us unintentionally and even unsuspectingly. So having them at our homes, that's why I've mentioned with the first aid CPR kind of trainings and having the AEDs around that they're also really recommended that actually next to that be the bleed, the Stop the Bleed kits and Narcan. Yeah.
It wasn't.
Gonna have to have a lot of wall space.
Yeah. Well, Narcan doesn't take up as much space,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's a public health issue for all of us. It's not a, no, someone's not coming in just because, someone has a use issue and might need it, but I mean, we should all have it in our.
I appreciate you clarifying, because in the previous part of the conversation, we were talking about some fentanyl use in the town and, possible charges for that. And so creating sort of a nexus between the two conversations. Wanted to see if it'd be okay for folks to just come in and they're sort of trying to be proactive in their own life as they're sort of working through their own issues. So, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, and enforcement is not the answer, but in this one particular case, and Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the subject tried to actually hide it, intentionally hide it. And it was in the pill form that would appear to be oxycodone, but it was actually fentanyl. So, I mean, there was an attempt there to deliberately try to conceal it or hide it from the officer. And that's why, and remember, just because you arrest somebody doesn't mean that's the end. I mean, sometimes that's the impetus they need to get into treatment and services. And the jail does a great job, and the health department does a great job at reaching out to people that come in with substance abuse issues to screen them and to try to get them into treatment. So that sometimes that is the answer. Yeah.
Well, and that's an example of, it was it looks like an oxycodone pill.
Yep.
So you just don't know what you're taking. And there's a new, xylazine is
Yeah, which is
even worse.
Narcan doesn't work against.
Correct.
Oh, gee.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Complex issue, but I think that we're doing everything we can here in this town. And I was very impressed with the amount of services this county has. I was, as I told, just doing the research for this presentation, I was just amazed at the amount of resources and people that are involved in trying to make a difference in this community. It's pretty impressive.
Well, we can definitely reach out to the local behavioral health authority and have them come down to share all the resources that are in the county, because I think
I've got a list of them right here. It's long.
But I mean, just an overview, because I think there's a misconception that a lot of it stays up in Westminster, or that there isn't a need down here, and what do we need and what would be helpful. So I think the health department presenting, but also hearing from us, might be really helpful.
I agree.
So that was one question. The second I had, and were you there for the unveiling? There's a mobile health.
I saw that. They showed me.
RV. So the health department actually has mobile service with an RV that can go anywhere in the county. The other was seems to be, I guess it's an anecdotal question. I'm wondering maybe if you can look at the data to see if it's validated. The first report here being about a stolen vehicle, and I've just noticed an increase in kind of anecdotal community. Not necessarily in town, but in kind of the zip code.
No, it's not anecdotal. It's happening.
Okay, so
it's happening. Yeah, we had another one just this past weekend. There were two in Eldersburg and one in Westminster. So it's an uptick in thefts of motor vehicles.
And they're out of people's driveways, or I mean, are they confronting people, or are they
kind
of at
breaking
night
windows and busting the steering column and popping the ignition? And it's usually Kias, Hyundais. Seem to be the target vehicles, but Sergeant Lacey is all over it, as he is everything that we assign him to do, and I'm hoping that we can bring him in here at a future meeting and have him go through some of the investigative efforts he's put into these cases, because it's impressive.
Is there a reason why now there's this uptick in? I mean, not just because before we were dealing with people stealing just from unlocked vehicles, but to actually break windows and steal cars out of driveways in the middle of the
The
night.
legislative body in Annapolis made it difficult for us to charge juveniles with a crime and hold them accountable.
And so more of a juvenile incident appears?
These cases are going crazy in the city. What was Sergeant Lacey say when he called down there? And because of course all of these crimes are connected to the city that we've had here recently. And when he called down to Baltimore, in fact, what was it, the tracking? The LPR data showed that the vehicle had gone to Baltimore City after it was stolen here. So,
I think that he found that there was like 230.
that's what I was going to say.
230
Since
cars.
August,
Yeah.
in the city alone, stolen vehicles. So it's not a new phenomenon. It's just starting to reach us. Yeah.
One of the suspect vehicles in particular case was actually stolen from Old Platte.
Yeah. And it was abandoned here, and another one was stolen here and taken. So
they steal a car to come out and steal a bunch of cars and then drive.
in a stolen. Yeah, you're right.
Are they selling them, or are they disassembling
Driving,
them,
just driving.
or just joyriding?
I would be ignorant to think they might not be attached to a car theft ring per se, but it's probably just juveniles stealing cars to further commit other crimes.
Right. Once they're damaged the way they are, I can't imagine anybody would want to buy
I don't
them.
think that most of them are super high-end vehicles either. I just think they're just a means to continue to commit crime.
Yeah.
And with the advent of us not being able to pursue anymore, that it's people are running from cops, police officers all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when you should buy a manual car.
Yes.
Oh, because nobody can drive them?
Yeah.
Millennial theft prevention device. Called a stick
You
shift.
know, we're talking about the club, bringing the club back. I mean,
No, I'm talking about a stick shift.
Oh,
So many millennials don't know how to shift. It's like,
So would a club
a
have?
club would have slowed these people down significantly.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that can't be cut off, but
Yeah.
would slow them down.
I mean, are these kind of crimes of opportunity? Or, well, I mean, if they're looking for a particular vehicle.
I
that's-
think in like reviewing some of Sergeant Lacey's reports with the catalytic converter thefts that we had not too long ago,
Right.
they were here scouting those cars nights prior to the actual event, because the one on Village Road, they were in and out of that parking lot in like 4 minutes. And the one off of Norwood, if they weren't looking for that car on Norwood or checking that area, they would have never known how to get there. And that was in and out in less than 5 minutes as well.
In fact, in this case, the video that he was able to get from Village Apartments showed them drive in earlier, park next to the vehicle they eventually steal, leave, and come back and steal it. So they were looking for it. They were looking for that type of vehicle. They cased it. They cased the area.
You said so it's a particular, it's Hyundais and a
Mostly Hyundais and Kias, although it was a Toyota 4Runner.
4Runner, and then it was an Explorer that was stolen from
Yeah, so it's all kinds.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So, Chief, before, I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, call 233, express my gratitude to you over the phone. I just want to do it in public. The family was grateful for the officers on scene and the way they handled the situation, so if you could just pass that on to the
Sergeant
officers.
Slayer did CPR in that case, as a matter of fact. So,
Yeah.
once again, putting the training to use and trying to save a life. So, unfortunately, it didn't work out, but yeah.
And in line with that, I'd like to highlight all the community policing that's been done, especially Officer Jacobs on October 10th at midnight, going out of his way to help somebody who was out of gas and gave his own money to help that person out so they get back to their family.
It's the kind of person he is. That's the kind of people all our officers are, and willing to do that. So, very proud of him.
Chief, do you have a petty fund account for those
We do.
things?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Just making sure that you have that in your budget.
I make it a point to, if I see an officer that comes out of his own pocket, his or her own pocket, for something like that, we make it a point to reimburse them. Most of the time, they don't want it, and here's one right there, then you almost got to force to take it. But I think it's only right.
I saw 2 reports in which your officers showed restraint, and it took a situation that could have gone very bad and turned into the best possible outcome. In my old employment, we had people would come and, I'm going to cause trouble to exercise my constitutional rights. And if you go out there and start yelling at them, that's what they want. Whereas if you go out and say, well, just don't break anything and walk away, they get angry, fold their tent and leave. So
I know the incident
congratulations on handling both cases magnificently.
Well, we had the lieutenant there, so things were handled appropriately.
Thank you. Actually, thanks everyone for the thoughtful comments. Chief, I was going to ask you about, and you may be announcing it, the DEA's annual prescription drug take back on the 28th. I know we have that door open all the time, but if you wanted to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, it's we'll have the lobby open, I believe, between 9 and 2, 9 or 3, I think it is. So if the people, they can come in, and any unused medications, they can certainly drop off, and anything but needles and liquids. That box fills up, it seems like every week. It's just amazing to me how many people get prescribed tons of medication that they don't use, that end up getting thrown away, but gets it out of the hands of potentially children or pets.
Yes.
So please feel free to come up and bring your unused medications and put them in our box, and we'll make sure that it gets delivered to the sheriff's department, comes out and collects that, and it all gets disposed of properly.
Thank you.
And don't flush it down your toilet.
No.
Especially when we don't know what's in them sometimes. Okay. Anything else, Chief?
No, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Chief. Appreciate you.
Two psych outs, huh?
Yeah, 2 in 1 year. 2 in 1 year.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Chiefs looks a little like jealous or something.
Competition forming.
Apparently I have to work hard.
I should have called my announcement when he walked up a psych out, is what I should have done. Next time, Chief. There'll be a next time, I'm sure of it. So that brings us to council and committee reports. Anyone on my left with any of the aforementioned?
Well, I had one, but we got taken care of earlier, so I'm good to go.
Awesome. If you're not ready, Councilmember Schofield, I can keep going.
So I did have one, and it actually has to do with the sign that was on Oklahoma. So it's not about the planning commission meeting, because we haven't had a meeting in a little while. I did get the opportunity to stop by and chat with the gentleman that had encouraged some sort of speed deterrence along Oklahoma, especially the one-way portion of the road there. And he mentioned that the sign has slowed traffic down to 30 to 40 miles an hour. So we're not maybe all the way there yet in terms of figuring out the ultimate deterrent along that particular area. But I know that for some people, myself included, it has been a helpful reminder of how fast you're going along those curves. And so I don't know what else we can do in reference to that space, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware that some of the citizens along that group of houses where the road is very tight, we all know how tight it is there, are still experiencing some challenges. That was all that
There's a speeding problem on that road. It's uphill. Like when I saw that sign, I'm like, what's this sign doing here? It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, what the guy has said is that there's people that drive by, sometimes youth, but it's a group of folks, and he said anywhere, I remember in the spring, it was more like 40 to 50 miles an hour, that they tool around that deal, and he's gotten almost hit a few times because his mailbox is across the street from his house, and so his house is sort of on the hill, and then his mailbox is across the street, and people they wouldn't see him if they're coming around too fast. And I mean, I don't know how you gauge how fast someone's going with a naked eye, but it is easy to be going 35 through that area, and it's 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, and there's kids and small families, or small families. It's families with small kids.
Narrow road.
Yeah, and it's a very narrow road, and it's easy. If you lost what you're trying to do on that road, it'd be easy to get into an accident. Not to say that we have a lot of accidents there, because I don't think that we actually do, but nonetheless, I just want to make sure people are aware.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you have anything for us, President Carter?
So Parks and Rec, first of all, they had an amazing season. Did a great job as usual, knocked it out of the park.
Didn't have, see what you did there? I see what you did there. Didn't have too many rainouts, so that's nice.
No. So Halloween coming up, so safety for that, obviously, first and foremost, really important. And then we'll end with Santa coming to town, so a reminder to all the bodyguards here in the crowd control.
I'll be there.
To show up Get that on your calendar. So, and then the skate park jam. Skate jam. That was, we were hoping to do in October at the skate park, is being moved to the spring. So look for more information on that. Get it on your calendar. Should be a fun event.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Anything?
HDC meeting has been canceled. There's no petitions. They're still waiting for the rework on the rewrite.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay. DSC, this is a really busy time of year for us. This past Saturday, we just had the Fall Fun Fest from 12 to 4 with free entertainment. There was a reptile zoo, dance demonstration, magic show, ventriloquist act. There were quite a few families down there, and there are photos on our Facebook page. Main Street trick-or-treating is this Saturday from 3 to 5. I'm being forced to read this, I'm sorry. Get ready for a spooktacular stroll down Main Street. We are brewing up a bewitching good time with almost 200 pounds of candy provided by Main Street merchants, provided to Main Street merchants thanks to our sponsors and our DSC Board of Directors. Craft Beer Festival is November 4th from 12 to 4. We desperately need volunteers for that. There is a sign-up link available on our website as well as the ticket link. And this year, for the first time, features an American Sign Language interpreter for the musical performer in an effort to make the event enjoyable for everybody.
Awesome.
And then shortly before Thanksgiving is the Snallygester Family Fling on November 19th at 10 a.m. at Freedom Park. Registration is open for that. Registrants will receive Main Street coupons and enjoy family-friendly activities. And then we are also in the midst of our 2023 Happy-thon campaign. Donations can be mailed to DSC's office or completed online at the website downtownsykesville.com. And then finally, shortly there will be an announcement on the DSC's Facebook page and other places about the ability to redeem Sykesville Station outstanding gift cards, how to redeem those. We're working on that, and hopefully I have an announcement on Facebook in a week or so.
Okay. Thank you. Leo.
Didn't he announce that Libs would take the
It is, but it'll be the specific details for that.
Oh.
Yep.
And I know that the bistro is also giving you a percentage off if you can present them with a gift card.
Oh, are they? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And then have we met since you met with Leadership Maryland?
No, I have not. We have not met
We
here.
have not
She's
met
been-
here, so just wanted to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And Julie did an amazing presentation, and and Unwind Candle has a downtown Sykesville connection candle now.
Indeed.
So just wanted to thank you and Julie for your time.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. So my updates are, I have two. They're both, no, they're not. The one is about the MML conference that I attended last week, the fall conference in College Park. I didn't even know that the University of Maryland had its own hotel, and it's gorgeous. And I think it's only a couple or 3 years old.
Oh, you were at the hotel?
Yeah, the conference was held there, and the rooms were there. Anyway, it's a great place. It overlooks the beautiful part of the campus, or a beautiful part of the campus. Anyway, so at MML, I had the pleasure of hearing a lot of really great, inspiring speeches and just filled with information and the direction that things are moving from a state level and how that affects us locally. Amongst one of the keynote speakers was the governor, and Governor Moore announced, and it's something I want to share with everyone here and with the public, and that's that he's created his own Citizen Advisory Council by way of actually inviting the mayors to quarterly meet at the government house in Annapolis, because in his words, local government is where the rubber meets the road, and how else would he know if the administration is addressing the needs of the people, if not to speak to the mayors of those people. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing, giving my feedback, Sykesville feedback and input. So just wanted you to know that the people of Sykesville will have a voice in the government house 4 times a year. So I'm really excited about that. And something else that's, I guess it's MML related because it happened at MML. And it is an MML sponsored program through along with a partner called Sustainable Maryland. And the town of Sykesville has received its certification, as a sustainable community. Joe, do you want to talk about the program just a little bit? Let people know what it's.
Well, it's a partnership between the Finance Center of Maryland, Environmental Finance Center of University of Maryland, and MML. And again, it's really focused on green initiatives and just general sustainability. Our effort was really led up by our town planner, Kevin Rubenstein. He really did a good job of putting the application together and making sure that we met all the category requirements and did all the things that are necessary to make sure that we received that designation this year. I know it's been something that has been on our, our collective priority list for several years now. So it's good to be able to check that one off. So kudos to Kevin on that one. And if you actually have a chance to read through the application, which is listed on the Sustainable Maryland website, you actually see that a lot of the projects and things like that that are included in that really have to do with the Downtown Sykesville Connection and a lot of their efforts, along with the Parks and Recreation and other staff members. So again, it really is a community designation because there's a lot of partners that played a role in making sure that we received this designation.
And it opens up money for grants by being a part of this, correct?
There are certain programs that will be eligible for, mainly on the green side of things. I'm not sure exactly how much money it is, but what it does do is it gives us a little more credibility when we go after other programs, so we can say that we're part of this program.
Yeah, it's definitely looked at as a prerequisite for a lot of, and like if you're not on there, if you don't have that box checked on certain grant applications, you probably just get glossed over. Yeah. And I mean, it's been an initiative of mine as well. And when I learned about the Sustainable Maryland program, it was actually Councilmember Guroff that introduced me to. Is he what I don't know what. Oh Lord, now I can't even think of his name. Michael. I can't think of Mike's title within Sustainable Maryland. If he's like the executive director of it. And,
that's a good question.
Yeah. In any event, it was Lisa that invited me to that table at fall or summer conference at some point since I've been mayor, and I learned about the program. And when I did, I knew it was going to be a conduit, or at least the best way to explore and execute some of our green initiatives and some of my wishes. So I just want to maybe expand upon a few things that Joe said. We were already supporting our Main Street Maryland program, which is part of a sustainable community checklist, and which is administered by the Downtown Sykesville Connection, including its well-established farmers market and community garden and their buy local program campaign, I should say. Our National Registered Historic District was established 3 decades ago, another sustainable community checkmark. But when I learned about the University of, there it is, Mike Hunningshake, Director of Sustainable Maryland. Thank you, Lisa. When I learned about the Sustainable Maryland's program and its certification requirements, I knew that this was going to be the way to explore those my concerns and my initiatives. And that it would be the avenue to turn up the volume on Sykesville sustainability, really. So in the last 2 years, we've proudly brought electric vehicles into our municipal fleet. We further have decreased our carbon footprint with the conversion to LED street lamps, and we're designated a Tree City USA through the Arbor Day Foundation, all actions qualifying us for this prestigious Sustainable Maryland designation. And finally, creating a town planner position. It's not why we did it, but it certainly offered us the staff support that we needed to bring this into fruition. It's a application that goes on for about a half a mile, and Kevin really dedicated a lot of time toward it. So thank you to Kevin and thank you to staff for seeing that through. Anyway, everyone, anything else for the good of the order?
No wonder he looks so happy in that picture.
Yeah,
Now I
he-
understand.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got 3 years to rest
Years.
before the
Yes.
next recertification cycle.
Yeah, we've been talking about Sustainable Maryland for at least 4 years. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it coming up in MML one of the first years I went.
Yep, yep. So kudos to Sykesville and to all of you.
Motion to adjourn.
There it is. Thank you, Councilmember Grassley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Council President Carter. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Here we are adjourning at 2:15. Thank you, everybody.